Across the country, communities are already pushing back against the unchecked expansion of data centers. More than 100 localities have enacted moratoriums or restrictions, and states are beginning to take action as well. That is why today we are announcing legislation to impose a moratorium on the construction of new AI data centers. Further, that AI data centers do not increase electricity or utility prices, harm communities, or destroy the environment.
I'll start with another quote from Sam Altman, who said 10 years ago, AI will probably lead to the end of the world. But in the meantime, there will be great companies created with serious machine learning. Our responsibility is to take care of people.
So imagine what it would be like if you just had a helicopter that was hovering over your neighborhood all day and all night. It's kind of what it sounds like at a data center in the Ashburn area.
Greg Pirio bought his home in the Northern Virginia suburbs more than a dozen years ago, never imagining this would be his neighbor.
Well, many people in Monroe Township are very upset about the possibility of a data center being built in their community.
Across the U.S., a frenzy of development to support the artificial intelligence boom prompts pushback from communities who say they don't want data centers in their backyards.
As you can see, the backlash against AI and data centers is real. In fact, it's real, it's global, and it's growing. I've been reporting on land use conflicts around alt energy now for 16 years. I've documented hundreds of examples of local communities fighting back against solar projects, wind projects, and battery projects. I've never seen anything like what we're seeing in the backlash against data centers and AI. And in fact, to give you an idea of the scale of the backlash, during the first 3 months of 2026, there have now been more rejections or restrictions of AI and data centers than occurred in all of 2025. And one of the latest rejections, or rather a moratorium, occurred in my hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll come back to those numbers in a minute. But to understand the backlash, I needed to meet some of the people who are fighting back against data centers, and I didn't have to go far. We only had to drive up I-35 here in Austin to the city of Round Rock to see some of the opposition.
Tell us or tell me, how long have you lived here?
15 and a half years.
Uh-huh.
So a long time, and you know, there's been talk many times about what's going to be built back here, and property owners have changed over the course of the years for that acreage back there. And, you know, this has been a very involved community for this AI data center that Skybox is going to build. We had over 3,000 signatures on our petition. I think it was 50-ish people that spoke at the final city council meeting before they voted.
50 against?
There was 2 for, but one of them worked for Skybox, so it's like, does that even count? You're going to use electricity, and it's going to run our bills up, so you should pay an extra 5% or whatever percentage above what your usage is to offset that. There should be some parameters set for this instead of just going willy-nilly.
Sure. And if I could interrupt here, because it seems to me that one of the reasons why, excuse me, they want to put it here is they're right on the high voltage line here, right? So
there's a substation right down there behind.
I see. Right.
Casa Mechanical.
Right.
It's going to be right there, and it's going to be 6 stories tall.
6 stories.
Yeah, they kept saying it in the beginning when we were dating and they were courting us. They were like, "It's just going to be 1 story." It's 1 story that's 60 feet tall. So that's not 1 story. That's 6 stories.
So it'll be roughly as tall as those the power poles, the power towers.
I guess so.
Why? What about this whole thing made you say this isn't something we want?
Well, first off, it shouldn't be in a neighborhood. That's number one. But you're talking about water use. Electricity, all of our bills are going to go up, property values are going to go down. They'll argue about that. And in fact, they did vigorously at the city council meeting on February 12th.
And just to be clear, the nearby properties will decline in value because they're adjacent to such a big industrial site. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah. and you know, and as people become more and more educated about the harms that data centers do, specifically with infrasound or low frequency noise, and that travels for miles. People don't want to live near that.
And you got 3,000 signatures opposing.
Over 3,000.
And how long did it take you?
That started mid-December, I guess, to February 12th. So whatever that's.
And that was
6, 7,
independent of us.
Yes. Right.
That was independent of us.
Right. Less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Who are the people that are coming together in this? Even though you've apparently lost on this latest proposal, what did you notice about the politics of the people who got involved?
It's across the board. I mean, ages, ethnicity, religions, politics. I mean, our 6 or 7
class of income levels.
Oh, absolutely,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we had waitresses on our steering committee.
Yeah. And our 6 or 7 person steering committee has very progressive people and very hardline right wing people. And this
IT people who have worked in data centers, people who have experienced elsewhere what data centers will do to a community.
And
it
so,
was across the board.
and so, why did they come together on this?
This is wrong.
It's universally wrong.
Yeah, we had 3,200 plus signatures on the petition. That's more than actual votes cast for both council seats that were up for election last year.
For the winning margin or the winner?
No,
total votes.
Total votes.
Total votes.
As you can see, it's raining here in Round Rock, and we've just talked with Deborah Mosbar and Pam and Gary Oldham. And this is one of the projects that's being built, and one of the reasons why people here in Round Rock are up in arms about data centers. This is an expansion of an existing Saby data center. This one will add another 50 megawatts of capacity, and as you can see, it's right here next to an Encore substation. But here's why people in Round Rock are opposing. This is a residential area just across the way, and this is a monster-size data center going in just next door. Round Rock is the biggest city in Williamson County. Williamson County is a red county in a red state. Out of 25 elected positions in Williamson County, Republicans hold 22 of them. That means that Williamson County is a pretty representative subset of the state of Texas. And the backlash against data centers that we've seen here in Texas, which includes a recent rejection by the city of San Marcos, the backlash in Texas reflects the broader backlash that's happening across the U.S. and around the world. So how widespread is the backlash? Already in the first 3 months of 2026, I documented 56 rejections or restrictions of data centers. And again, that's just in the first 3 months here in the United States. For all of 2025, there were 48 rejections or restrictions. By comparison, in 2024, there were only 9, and in 2023, there were only 2. Further, we can look across the pond in Europe and see what's happening there. Ireland, the Netherlands, Germany, France, and most recently in Alberta, Canada, there have been rejections or restrictions on data centers. In all, the total is 160 rejections or restrictions of data centers, and most all of them have occurred, or the vast majority rather, have occurred just in the past 2 years. So what's happening? I think this is a cultural backlash, and it's a cultural backlash unlike anything I've ever seen. I've been documenting the backlash against wind and solar projects and battery projects now for 16 years. And why are local people fighting back, communities around the world fighting back against those projects? They care about their neighborhoods. Everyone everywhere cares about their neighborhoods. They're concerned about their property values, they're concerned about view sheds, and of course they're concerned about noise. Well, all of those same issues apply when it comes to big tech and data centers. But then you add in the issues of an outright distrust, a distrust or outright hatred of big tech, and concerns about soaring electricity prices and water usage, and you have a perfect combination of issues for opponents across the political spectrum. What we're seeing here can be verified, in fact, in the polling data. In September of 2025, Gallup did a survey which found that 80% of the public wants to slow down AI deployment. 80%. Only 9% of the people surveyed favored faster acceleration. 80% in any kind of a survey is a remarkable number. So what is the punchline here? I think it's obvious. The cloud and AI is running into a wave of angry citizens who don't trust big tech. They don't like Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, etc. And they're fighting back in the physical world because that's where they can fight back. As I said earlier, I've never seen anything like this, and I think the backlash against big tech and data centers will continue. If you want the details on all of these rejections, and I've documented all of them, you can find them on my Substack. Thanks for watching. I'm Robert Bryce. See ya.